a lot about keeping ourselves safe when we're outside the home and concealed carry and all that, but today I wanted to go over some small habits that you can implement today to keep yourself safer in your home. If you're brand new here, I'm so glad you're here. My name is Stav and this is my channel, She Equips Herself. If you're not following me on Instagram, I post a lot on my stories over there, so make sure you're following me on Instagram, and please subscribe to my channel if you're enjoying my content. I've broken these habits down into like 3 different segments of your day. So the first thing I want to talk about are these small habits you do when you get home. Like, you were out, you come home, what do? The first habit you really just want to do naturally is just look around before you get out of your car. If you pull up into your driveway or onto your street, just glance around, see if there's anyone there. Sometimes people get attacked like walking into their homes because we often have our guards down and we think, oh, like historically nothing has happened here, so our brains kind of shut off. But just be aware of your surroundings before you exit your vehicle. Next, you want to do something that I personally know a lot of people who don't do this. Lock your doors, people. I know people who say like, oh, I live in a safe neighborhood. We never lock our doors when we're home. Girl, lock your doors. It's such an easy thing to do and an easy way to prevent something bad from possibly happening. If I were a criminal and I walked up to a door that was locked versus unlocked, I'd probably go to the one with least resistance, right? So just lock your doors, especially if you're home. Like, why do you want to just let somebody into your house? I live in the suburbs now, but I grew up in Boston. So my husband always jokes around because like, I will lock every door in the house. Even if he like just went out onto the deck and I shut the door behind him, I have it so ingrained in my muscle memory that I just lock the slider door. Like, I will just lock doors all the time. And he's like, I'm right out here. Why did you lock the door? But it's just so ingrained in me because in the city, you don't leave your doors unlocked. In the suburbs, you shouldn't either. Just lock your doors. The next habit I want to talk about is specifically for you people who carry guns like me. If you're gonna take your gun off your body when you get home, lock it up immediately. This is something that I have trained myself to do. If I'm gonna take my gun off my body when I get home, I'm not gonna put it on the table and then put it in the safe. I lock it up immediately. Now, some people like to carry guns in their house. That's cool, good for you. I usually have a gun accessible to me somewhere nearby, which I'll talk about soon. But when I take my gun off my body after coming home, I put it right in the safe so that there's no chance that somebody else, like one of our kids, will get access to it. Now, when you're home, if somebody rings the doorbell or knocks on the door, what is our first inclination? It's to go and open it, right? I want you to shift that habit from opening the door to opening maybe a window nearby. If you don't know who it is, don't open the door. Like, you don't know this person personally, even if they're dressed as like a delivery person or, I don't know, like a solar salesman. Don't open the door. Talk to them through the window, see what they're up to, and then you can decide whether or not you want to actually go out and talk to them. But don't give that person access to your home unless you know that person. Can I help you? Unfortunately, there are people out there who will dress up as delivery people, or they'll dress up as like someone coming to fix something in your home. If you didn't call for a service and they arrive at that certain time, don't open the door. If you're not certain who this person is, don't feel bad talking to them through a window. It's better for you to be safe than sorry. So you've come home, you've locked your doors, you put your gun away. Now, if you put your gun away, like me, I always like to have a gun nearby. So when people think of home defense, I think a lot of people will have in mind that, oh, I'll have a gun in the bedroom, and if someone breaks in, I'm gonna go get my gun, and that's how I will have a tool ready to respond. But if you spend most of your day in like the living room or the kitchen or a den or somewhere besides your bedroom, I highly recommend you have a quick access safe in the places where you spend the most time. Quick access safe is like 3 or 4 buttons, something that you can get into in 1 or 2 seconds. I don't love having fingerprint only, because if you have like moisture on your fingers, you're like cutting up onions in the kitchen and then you have to get into your kitchen safe. It might not open if you have like onion juice on your fingerprint. So we like buttons around here. The fingerprint is a nice backup or something else, but buttons are ideal. Here's another Vaultex safe I have. This is a bigger one. This is the RS500i. I love this safe. I'm not going to show you my combo, but it has a fingerprint and a keypad and a display that gives you all sorts of information. I'm just going to put my code in. quick access. And then I can also use my fingerprint. It doesn't matter if I show you that because you can't. Love this one. Another thing we really love in our home are home defense pepper sprays. Sabre makes one, Palm makes one. I have a discount code for Palm if you guys want to check them out. I'll link that below. But home defense pepper sprays are great because they're big, they're effective, and it is a non-lethal response you can have in your home. And this is something that you could even give your babysitter access to. Just let them know, like, hey, if anything happens, this is here. It's a non-lethal response in your home, and they're very effective. They hold a lot of pepper spray, and they shoot really far. I'm actually gonna put a video here of Mac using, I think this was the Sabre pepper spray. This was years ago, but I want to insert it here so you guys can see how far it sprays. So if you're not a gun person, or even if you are, like, we have these around our home, and you can have these in different rooms of the house, like have one in your garage, have one above your fridge, put them wherever you want, and even like give them to your parents who might not have firearms. And if your kids get a hold of them and they spray it, they probably won't do it again, and there's not going to be long-term damage. So it's just another tool you can add to your home arsenal. Another thing I do in the home that I really recommend is having dogs. This is like such an underrated security feature, I think, because my dogs are so aware of the noises outside that if they hear someone walking up the street, they will tell me. Like, they're so in tune with what's going on around our house, and I love that. I love having them with me, especially like if I'm alone at night or something like that. They will tell me if they hear a car pulling into the driveway, anything like that. There are also like really inexpensive cameras you can get these days that will send things right to your phone. You can get alerts to see what's going on around your house. Highly recommend cameras and dogs, not just because they're good security features, but because they love us unconditionally and are God's greatest gift to mankind. I said what I said. Now, during the day, some things you want to be aware of and habits you want to get into is, one, if you do have dogs or cats or pets and you let them outside, keep an eye on them, especially if you live somewhere where there are like coyotes and maybe fisher cats and things like that, bears. We've had a lot of predator sightings specifically in our neighborhood. We've had coyotes and bobcats, and depending on the size of your dog, and probably any cat could be attacked by a bobcat, but just keep an eye on your pets when you're home, even if you let them outside and they can wander around the yard. That's not necessarily like a danger for yourself, but that's a danger for your pets, so just be aware of that. Another thing to be mindful of is your routine. If you do the same thing every day, like you drop off the kids at school, you come home and you go for a run immediately, just be aware that if you do the same things every day, someone might take notice of that. It's just wiser to switch up your routine. Try not to take the same routes every day. Try not to go to the gym at the same time every day. Thankfully for me, my schedule changes daily just because of the nature of how our life is shaped. And I actually really appreciate that, not just because it's safer, but because it's just, you know, it adds a little bit of variety to my days. So just be mindful of your routine and try to switch things up where you can. And while you're home, this might seem like something we might forget from time to time, but try to keep your doorways clear. I've even noticed in our house sometimes we can like just put like boxes or bins and stuff in front of doorways, and that can just become like a safety hazard. So try to keep your home neat, try to keep doorways and entryways and things like that clear, and just be aware of where you're like blocking off entrances and exits in your home. Now, nighttime. How many of you guys were afraid of the dark as a child? We often think of like scary things happening at night. The truth is most break-ins happen during the day, but there are definitely things we need to be careful with at night and small habits you can make in your nighttime routine. So let's talk about those. So first of all, when it's nighttime, you want to check all your locks, make sure your doors are locked, make sure your windows are locked. I think windows can get forgotten more often than doors because we just close them and assume that they're okay. But if your window's not locked, someone can just open it from outside. So just make sure that all your locks are locked. Next, just get used to checking the lighting around your house. Do you like to keep an outside light on? Do you like to keep the light in front of your front door on? Things like that. Be aware of the lighting inside and outside your home. I think we talked about lighting in a home defense video I did with my husband that I'm going to link up here, and how you can maximize the lighting in your home. Like if you are upstairs, you keep a light on downstairs, you can kind of see what's going on down there without somebody being able to see you. There are ways to make the lighting in your home benefit you versus someone who might potentially break into your house. So just make sure you get your lighting good to go before you go to bed. Another thing is to have your phone charged and accessible. I have stopped leaving my phone next to my bed just because I don't want it to be something I reach for while I'm in bed. I don't want it to be the first thing I reach for in the morning. So I keep it nearby charging. I can still hear it if it rings, I can still get to it, but it's not right next to my head. Just make sure that it's charging or charged and that it's somewhere nearby. And if you have like a landline next to your bed, that's even better. At night, make sure your tools, again, are accessible at all times of the day, but even so at night. If you're in bed, there are a ton of like quick access safes you can have right by your bed so that your gun is locked up and safe, but still easy to get to in the evenings. And if you spend your nights like vegging out in the living room or like a den or something, just make sure you have a quick access safe in whatever room that is. And if you do have cameras, nighttime is a great time to turn them on. You're gonna be in your room sleeping presumably, and the cameras will just be able to pick up anything going on outside your home. Even as I'm editing this video, I'm home alone right now, and I just have my gun right next to me. It's under my direct control, and it's accessible if I need it, and when everyone comes home, I'm gonna put it away, obviously, but I just wanted to show you, like, this is actually what I do. I just always have a gun nearby. So a couple final things I want to mention. Don't ever assume like, oh, this would never happen to me or this couldn't happen here. We see bad things happen to people anywhere at any time. Like, it really doesn't matter. Things happen in the library, things happen at the movies, things happen in your home. So having a mental plan in place and having a way to respond will give you a lot of confidence just living your day-to-day life. You don't have to be paranoid about things because you have a plan. So I hope this was helpful to you guys. Let me know if you have any tips for staying safe in your home below, and I'll see you in the next video. Stay safe. Bye.